Hello, the YouTube people. My beautiful lady Lizzie just helped me set all this up before the concert tomorrow so that we can already start, showing you what's happening and how things are happening. So tomorrow I got the Danish band Agnus Dei here, some young chaps that play, I think, churchy music, but we're going to ignore that because they're cool and it's going to be fun. So my new buddy Jonas is also coming tomorrow to help me again with the setup. He's going to be very happy to see that everything is set up. And I wanted to set up a day before, A, to show you what we're doing, and B, to really make sure we have enough time to do these live stream concerts in the best quality possible. So I want to run you through the setup, kind of what we have. We're running 32 channels on a Presonus Studio Live Series 3 mixer with AVB NSB 16.8. Exactly. So let's start with something else. We'll go through everything audio, and then I'm going to show you the video system as well a little bit later. Follow me. So here we have the beautiful Tama Club Kit, which Tama and Meinl supplied. I was waiting for a Crash Daniel, which didn't arrive. That's okay. So we have hired a beautiful Presouns ride. These sticks are only here for show, but they match the kit. How beautiful is that? Millennium, Thomann. So, I don't want to do these really complicated let's mic everything. With 32 channels, now I can, and I have the mics, but come on. Come on. So, we have overheads, and I have them quite further down with this Triad Orbit T3 on casters. Which I have extended with the Triad Orbit Vector on top. And then I have these extenders, and I can, position these anywhere really I want. Further out, further in, which is kind of a overhead, close miking, kind of a in-between. This time around, I don't have the lighting for the drummer from the ceiling, because then I don't have to get my little steps and climb up. Bam! Drummer is lit beautifully. So this is a really cool kit, but if you come around here, it's a small kick, and I don't have a hole in there. I don't want to cut a hole in there. We have this Lewitt DTP 640 Rex, which actually has a proprietary cable, and it's got a dynamic and a condenser in it, but it's on the outside of the head. And even if it's on the inside, with this kick drum, I simply cannot get, big ass metal or rock sounds. So what I wanted some help for these sessions, to know that even if we're winging it and we're doing it really quickly, I have a big ass sound, because I would love the idea of a big fat metal band playing this little aqua blue kit. So I talked with the nice folks from Hyperactive, which is the German 2-box distributor, and we found a nice agreement. I do some videos for them, and I mentioned them. And we have this trigger here. So we have this 2-box trigger. Leslie, can you see the 2-box trigger? And I was afraid, I was petrified, that it would take quite a while to set this up. We just had no idea, Leslie and I, we did it together. I put it there and screwed it on, and it just works. Same with this snare trigger from 2-box. Put it there, screw it in, stereo cable on it, done. On the snare, we have a Lewitt MTP 440, which is an SM57 kind of a mic. So we're definitely miking the snare and the kick, but I want help. So these are going over here on our little station into the 2-box Drummit 3 trigger module thing with sounds. So tomorrow we're going to go through it, and we're not doing a whole drum sample thing, only kick and snare, and only helping the mics. We're miking it, we have overheads, we're going to get the sound off the kit, but if I need a little bit more booms, as we say in German, we're using this. It is standing, of course, on the tBone IEM 200T system, which is for headphones. For in-ear. That's our in-ear wireless system, as you can see on the antennas. Now, On the last gig, I ran 2 stereo mixes, and it took a long time to set that up because everyone in the band was like a little bit more here, a little bit less here, and they had to share headphone mixes. What we're going to do is we're going to have 5, it's 5 guys in the band, individual mono mixes, and that's the kicker, they're going to do their own mix with their phones. I hope that works. So if you can see here, that's a stage box, and we're going to get to that. That's the NSB 16.8. We have 5 sends going into 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th one, follow me over here, for the drummer, is this Millennium thing for I think 29 bucks, headphone amp, HPA in-ear Millennium, which I just put a Triad Orbit mic thingy on it, and a clamp, and that's right behind him, and he can really just, I mean, he doesn't need a wireless, he's stationary. So that's our 5th headphone mix, and the whole drum kit and the drum module is going into this NSB 16.8. Also with XLR, also all the cables, and I'm so freaking happy. I have cables, I have enough cables, I have long enough cables, I have cables that are high enough in quality. Thank you, Dylan from Hosa. It wouldn't be possible. Well, actually, it would be possible. I'd just have to spend a shit ton of money. So yeah, that's gonna happen. By the way, have you guys seen my brand new Zandberg bass? California, I think TT. More on that later. So, XLR going into this keyboard, which is pretty damn cool because it has XLR outputs. Rarely have I seen a keyboard with XLR outs. It has 1/4 inch, but why not use the XLR? I know that the vocalist from Agnus Dei is using a Nord Electro 3, I think. So this is very, very similar. It's a Vox Continental, same idea, also red. So he doesn't have to get that, I think, carry his here. The whole idea is for the bands to just come and really almost bring nothing. Everything is here, especially if you need organs and stuff. I don't have a mic stand here, as you see, because he's probably in this position for the most. He probably needs to get that up a bit. So I have a clamp, Triad Orbit arm. It's the 01, I think. And on here, we have this new Lewitt mic that they left for me, which is a really high-end handheld condenser mic, which if I'm here, if you saw the Oliver Hartmann live stream, if I'm right here, it wouldn't do anything. If I'm right here, it wouldn't do anything. Right here, it's working. So this is a mic that definitely doesn't capture anything other than what you wanted to capture. So we have this for the vocalist. We have this for backing vocals. I think they need more, but we'll figure that out tomorrow. Now, that mic and that mic are going into this NSB 16.8. Another stage box. So I've got another 16 channels, which I had to label 17 to 32, and I messed it up a couple times because I started at 16 because I'm an idiot. So we have these two going on here. So you see I have a lot of channels open just on the other one. 32 channels is quite a bit. Oh, I have to go stereo out here into the system. Did not do that. You can't hear anything. Well, we're going to do that together. This is the bass, which is coming from the Vintage Ultra right here, getting powered by the Zoomer, Vintage Ultra, going XLR into the stage box. It's more than a stage box though, because this has preamps in it, as far as I understand, and digital conversion. So the whole signal is actually leaving through network cables. So the box back there, which I call the drum box, and this, the front box, are daisy chained, and this 50-meter cable, oh, I'm going to show you where that's going soon. Here we have vocals. Now here we have stereo coming from the aux. Of course, through my AMPETE switches, I can send any of these amps, or any of 16 amps, into the aux, which is going analog into the stage box. And another amp, which we have to cable up, is going into the Torpedo Studio for guitar player number 2. So that should really allow for the highest grade DI sounds you can possibly get. Okay, I have to, I'll be right there. make sure that you guys will actually hear what we're doing. So the main out from the mixer, by the way, you don't see the mixer, do you? No, you don't. The main out from the mixer is going into my Apollo, which is my audio interface. So that, I know it's complicated, so that it's all going to be mixed in, it's going into these stage boxes, which network go to the mixer, which we'll get to. That's going to be mixed. Then it sends it back networked into the stage box, where I'm now grabbing the main mix. Okay. I'm grabbing the main mix, 1 and 2. We're going to have to route that into sends 9, 10. Now I totally messed this up. Crapola. I'm going to pretend I didn't do that, and I'm going to do that nicely. So I'm going to go into a... Don't show that. We're going to pretend that's nice. Step back, Leslie. So we're going to go under the table so it's all out of the way. Through the hole that I made, cable hole, into my Apollo Twin. I could also go into the Apollo 8. It doesn't really matter. It's just an input. Now from here, it's going... From here, it's going out of the Apollo 8 through the wall with cables into the video system, which is where you're going to hear it. Video, we're going to talk about later. So again, everything gets mic'd into the two NSB 16.8s. Networked to the mixer, which we'll look at later. The mixer mixes it. It goes back into the 16.8, into the Apollo Twin, which sends it into the Apollo 8, which takes an analog signal again, sends it blah, 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 over here, over here, over here, over here, through this hole in the wall, where there's quite a bit of cables, into Leslie's room, where it ends up in the video system. X, stop trying to escape. In the video system, it gets converted, and then it ends up in something called the web presenter, which turns it into a webcam. USB, which again comes through the wall, into the Mac, then into OBS, into the ether live. So, one of the problems was that Jonas, when he was mixing last time, was sitting right there. So we had standard stage boxes, thank you Dylan from Hosa, going into the kitchen. He was sitting right in the window. The problem is, when he's right next to the drums, you don't really hear what you guys are hearing, because you're hearing kind of the mix, but then you're also hearing boom chuck, boom chuck, boom 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 chuck. You can't really mix. I need that kit to be as far away from this as possible in terms of audio. The problem is, if I put him in the basement or the bathroom, which would be funny, he doesn't see what's going on. He doesn't see the guitar player going to a solo, which from back there he didn't see, and it was a problem. So I need him to pretty much see all the cameras. I need him to see the stream that you're seeing. And yeah. So the mixer is above us in the living room. So the mixer is all the way upstairs. And the network cable from the daisy-chained NSB 16.8s from Presonus is going, it's right here. That's the network cable. And that's going back there in the corner, through the wall, and away. Then there's also video cables that are coming up and coming back down. So right there, what you see here is actually a video feed from up there coming down with SDI, because that's where the mixer is. Can you see that, Leslie? So this is where the mixer is, and he has the same screen we have here, and other things. We're going to get to that. Now, that mixer is sending another network signal down, not an AVB audio network signal, but a normal network signal, going into this wireless router. which means down here, I can log into this wireless router if I'm the singer. I can open QMix UC. Let me see, I actually have to sign into that network. Let's see if that works. TP-Link. There we go. It's showing the mixer, isn't that cool? Now in the mixer, I would have to say which aux send I have control over. So right now I have control over aux send 1. I told the mixer that this phone is authorized to do that. And now I have the band level. I still have to figure out how that works. And I can actually mix myself. Now hypothetically, up there, that fader on aux 1, for me, which is lead vocal, I think, goes up and down, and it actually does. Now, and so everyone in the band will be able to do this. They're going to log into this TP-Link, which is networked with the mixer. We're going to assign everyone authorizations that they can only mix themselves. And instead of doing this complicated, I want a little bit more snare drum in my left ear, well, fuck that. Everyone can actually do it themselves. So all we do is we say, now you can do your own mix. Everyone can fiddle around for 10 minutes and set up their own headphone mix. That's going to make it a lot easier for us. Complicated setup, but in the end, easier. Now, one of the problems, of course, is having the mixer upstairs. Who wants to run up and down and up and down and up and down when we do setup? Naming channels, turning phantom power on and off. Now, let's say I want phantom power on for the vocal mic. That is a problem because the mixer is upstairs. I'm not running upstairs. So, also networked, I have my iPad. Let's do this. Wink. Can you see that? And here is the whole mix. Now I can, if I wanted to, of course, only see a channel. So I can see the mixer and I can say, oh, wait a second, where's my vocals? Here's my lead vocal. I need phantom power on. So I actually have access to the different mixes here. Everything I can do on the mixer, I can do here. If I now go to the fat channel, come on. There it is. Why didn't it show it on the other one? So I have these really cool plugins there. I can do pretty much anything I want to do on the mixer from down here so that we don't have to walk up and down and up and down and up and down the stairs. How cool is that? And I actually checked, I can move a fader and I can see with the camera that it's moving upstairs. Now let's go upstairs and I'll show you where Jonas is going to work. Obviously, we talked about amps. We talked about so in terms of audio, that's all that. Here, of course, we have more Lewitt mics. I have the whole Beat Kit Pro 7. So if I needed to do tom miking, I can. I have more mics at my disposal. Thank you, Valerie and Lewitt. You guys rock. Django is not part of the audio system. He's just an old grumpy ass. Right, Django? So, follow me upstairs, please. So here we have the dog. And here are cables coming from downstairs. So here's the network cable from the NSBs, and here's the network cable going back down, networking the mixer with the iPad and the phones. There's the camera up there, showing the mixer and showing Jonas when he's sitting up here. This is the multi-view cable, which is coming from downstairs. And in order to get the long video lines, I can't use HDMI, I have to use SDI. And in order to do that, I have to use converter boxes. We're going to get into that when you were talking about video. But we have a converter box here, the Blackmagic microconverter, which from downstairs is taking the multi-view in HD and giving me an HDMI output. And this is a really cool converter box because at the same time, it can also do HDMI to SDI. So from the camera up there, it's going back down, and that's why I can see that camera. It's not part of the live stream because it's only HD. So the cool thing is that I have a SDI cable in the web presenter, meaning the thing that actually converts the video so that you can see it has an extra SDI output in 4K. You're only seeing it in 720 while it's streaming, but I can grab a copy of that signal in 4K, and that signal also has the audio encoded into it. So I have this really long cable coming out of that web presenter, which is exactly the last instance before it goes online. That's what you see. It goes all the way, 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 right here. Back here, where for many more hundreds of euro, we have the mini converter, SDI to HDMI. So I'm going in SDI, and it's going as HDMI directly into my TV. So that means there is audio embedded in it. And the way that Jonas is going to hear it, he's just going to hear it through my Teufel surround system. He's going to just, the signal that you're hearing, meaning if there's any problems with, now the TV wants to turn off. If there's any problems with compression in the Apollo, in whatever, things behind the mixer that he's controlling, we will hear it. If anything in the system is distorting, we will hear it up here because this is the last thing that happens before it goes online. You're hearing it, he's hearing it over a normal system. And so here is the mixer. Okay? I don't quite know why this is stretching out the picture like crazy, but at least he sees all the different cameras. He can see what's going on downstairs. If I'm talking to him, he knows what's going on. He sees, this is actually a 4K picture of what is going online. So this is what Leslie is switching to at the moment. So he knows what's going on. And here, of course, he has the mixer. And in order to see things a little bit better, this is so cool. I just named everything downstairs on the iPad. I didn't have to use a touchscreen here. I named everything. I did the whole setup downstairs on the iPad. And here we go. Here we have the aux, which is awesome. And we have the torpedo, and here we have the bass. Now, of course, I can go and change that comp to a... No, I don't want... That's not what I want. I want the tube take. I'm calling it tube take. You can't. So, there we go. If he wants to do any quick adjustment, it's very easy to do that here. You see that it's... Hey, Exy. That it's mirrored right there. So anything I do on the screen, it's just nice to have this on the screen and I have it set so that it's mirrored. Where are my vocals? Oh, here, vocals, right there. And I could, of course, go in here, pick a different compressor right there. I actually probably want my tube. I can pick my vintage 3-band there, and it's loaded like this in the mixer. Obviously, I can go in here and adjust it there. He needs a mouse. We need to give him a mouse. So whether he chooses that interface or that interface, that's totally up to him. I want to know now, why couldn't I select the 48? Yeah, here we have the headphone mixes, which they will be able to do downstairs. We have to unlink those. Haha. Unlink. And the great thing is 32 channels going up here, 5 headphone mixes, all this stuff. And on the mixer, I got 3 cables. Show this, Leslie. So I could literally be anywhere with this. We have power. we have the network cable coming in from the NSB 16H downstairs, which are actually doing the mic preamping and all that stuff, coming in digitally. And this is the network cable going into a network switch right there. Just splitting it up between going downstairs and the computer. The computer is plugged in directly. And that cable goes downstairs to the, what do we call that? Wireless router. Yeah. So for Jonas, or for whoever's mixing, this is a very comfortable position. You know, a cup of tea, nice coffee, mix. He doesn't necessarily need headphones. He can have headphones right here, but he can use the system in here if he wanted to, with a subwoofer, without a subwoofer. He can see what's going on. We can communicate. He can see what's going online. Yeah, I can't think of any way to improve that. Hello, even more. It's, we're gonna see tomorrow how she flies and how that works. I want a convenient session for everyone, for the band, for me, for the guy mixing, but I want the highest possible quality. So with all those insane plugins that we can run in real time on this mixer, thank you Presonus, and the ability to be far away from the band. I have a 50-meter cable. He could be freaking sitting in the garden shed up there. We might do that in the summer. We should be set for different kinds of bands. Thank you, 2Box, for the Drum It 3. That should allow us, with that really cute Tama kit, to actually have, you know, metal bands and big rock bands without them coming with their kits and going crazy. It's not like I don't want the drummer to bring their stuff, but it gets very quickly very tight down there. All of a sudden, all the cases are standing around. This is not a live venue. This is my house. So if I can make it so bands come, play, have a good time, leave, would be great. We're working on that. This is the audio setup we have now. Thanks, Hosa. Thanks, Lewitt. Thanks a bunch. Perry from Presonus, you rock. So, and Paul in Ireland. We are going quite far with the system, and I'm very, very excited. So far, it's all working. Tomorrow, we'll see how she flies. And we're going to look at the video system in another video. Bye-bye. Animals at the end. I mean, there were animals in the whole thing. Right? That's my glasses, you bastard. Animals at the end.
I claim the light, but it's getting darker when there's no one left inside. Is this the end of hope? Is this the